Alright, another full self-driving video. Heading under the Bridge Street Bridge here near Mort Street. We're going to head up into Prince Henry Heights. Bit of an interesting area. There's a little lookout road there that I want to take the car through and see how it goes there. Because it's a one lane, it's pretty windy, it's a slow speed area, so we'll see how the car handles that. Trying a new wide angle view today to see a little bit more of the sides of the car, what it's doing. There's a little bit of rain today, as you can see. It's not much. The wipers are set to auto, so we'll see how the car decides when and how much wipers it's going to need to keep full self-driving going. We did have a bucket of rain yesterday, and unfortunately the car could not drive through that, and even a human couldn't really drive through it, so that's understandable. But it was interesting to see the varying levels of rain until it actually forced me out of full self-driving and then asked me to take over. So it was quite a bit before it actually it tried to handle it for quite a while before it booted me out, so that was interesting. Heading up Bridge Street here, got some green lights. I have noticed in the last few drives over the last week or so, car's been sticking a little bit more to the right of the lane for whatever reason. I don't like that. I think it needs to stick to the left, if anything. If it is going to be, towards one side, it's better to be the left than the right, because we don't have oncoming traffic. But anyway, that only seems to be on certain streets for whatever reason. Not too sure. Still having to apply some acceleration to get to speeds that I would think are good to be around town. You don't want to leave such huge gaps between us and the car in front, because then the people behind us should get pretty upset with us, especially if we're only doing 40 or 50. So you will see me apply some accelerator to get the car going here and there. I'm hoping that they address it in the next update, that it's a little bit more assertive and a little bit more aggressive with the accelerator, because it's a little too slow on takeoffs, it's a little too slow getting through roundabouts, although I've had quite a good experience with roundabouts in the last week. It's actually been working quite well, and I haven't cut a new one off yet, so they've been working a lot better, but still room for improvement with speed management. I don't know if it's going to actively apply machine learning before an update comes out. I don't know how that works, but it does seem to be responding better to roundabouts over the last few week or two driving. So now, this being quite a wide lane, I'd be more to the left of the centre. I'm sitting right on the line, and I get it. Look, it's we've got cars parked on the side, things like that, but primarily do not want to be sitting near oncoming traffic, because at any point, if someone on the other side of the road has a medical episode or anything like that, we're pretty close to their path. So another roundabout coming up here at the top of bridge. No one entering from the right, so the car's going to go through. It is indicating pretty much all the time now when it exits a roundabout. I have noticed that at a few streets, sometimes it just won't put an indicator on if it's turning left. I don't know why. And it seems random. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, even though it's the same spot. Okay, coming up to an empty roundabout, so it seems nothing coming from the right, nothing from the left, and nothing ahead of us, so that was pretty easy. So this, as soon as it makes that maneuver, it should start to ramp up speed a little quicker than what it does, in my opinion. But that's alright, we're just being picky. It takes a long time to get to 60. Now it's a Saturday afternoon, so there's no school. The car is smart enough to know that. I'm assuming it goes off the calendar dates to understand that it's not a school day, so it usually will go higher speeds. I actually live right around the corner from a school zone, so I see it every morning. It does slow down under 40, which is great. Really, really good there. A little too slow. I'm not sure why it's slowing down. I think it's because of the hill here. Can't quite see what's over the other side. Now that it can, it's picking speed up a little bit again, but I'm going to give it a bit of volts, get it going. So coming around the corner here, This will lead us up to our first stop, which I am going to remove and let it reroute. As you can see, it looks a little grim down there. Not sure why it's wanting to turn here, so I'm going to cancel that. I probably just can far out. That person's just overtaken me, but that's probably my fault. The car's fault. For some reason it wanted to go right there. I don't know why. The next address was actually straightforward, so that was actually a little scary. And then I've got a person right up behind me here. Car's taking these bends pretty well. I did turn that indicator off pretty quick, but that car did not want to let us in front there, and they went around, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Probably took a little too long to remove that out of there, I guess, because the car wanted to turn right for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there. We could count it as a disengagement, but it's probably my fault for removing the waypoint a little too late. So, oh, slowed for the little bird on the road there. Just going to pick up speed again. It's just kind of a rich area, so you get a lot of impatient people around here. This car's just gone around and into our lane. The car didn't freak out, didn't even try and slow down, which I don't think was necessary for it to slow down. It's pretty good at calculating when it doesn't need to. Another bird on the road. Thought I might have had to take over for a second there just so we didn't hit it, but it got out of the way. Wiper speed's pretty good. It's not overreacting, which is good. Bit of a tough area here, can't really see too far ahead, so got a bit of a lookout here, which is a beautiful part of Toowoomba. Some barriers and things that aren't on the sides here, so it's seen a little bit of something coming out from that truck on the side, so it's gone around that. Going pretty slow here, but that's fine because you shouldn't really be going too quick around here anyway. There's a lot of areas where there's not much visibility, a lot of hills and things, so you can't really see too far ahead. So I'm happy with it doing 40 here. Okay. It's going to take us through to this next area here. So this is the part that I was talking about. I want to see how the car goes through this section. It's asked me to add some steering because it's lost contact with my eyes. I also wanted to see how it went with some really shiny glasses, and seems to be having the attention monitoring really well. So it's going about 11-15 k's between here, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I'd probably be doing about 40 personally, but that's okay. There's no road markings, there's no lanes or anything like that for the cars to see, so it's just working it all out, where it needs to go, what it's got to do. So it's pretty interesting to see the path mapping on the computer. It's monitoring my attention again, so that's good. It's yelling at me because I'm not looking ahead, so it obviously must be able to see my eyes even through these glasses, which is good. Tight bend coming up here and a bit of a narrowing, so very good area to see how the car handles it. It's dropping speed a little bit as it gets to this really tight bend, which is fine because, you know, you don't want to be going too fast. It looks quite narrow, and it is quite narrow. But car's having no issues navigating around it. It's just doing it at a snail's pace. Straightens up a bit here, getting a little bit more visibility. Speed's picking up a little bit because of that, so doesn't want me to watch the screen too much, so I'm going to give it a bit of a tug there. Another area where you can't really see over it. It's just a bit of a steep hill, then it goes down and around, so it's taking it cautiously. is nice. I don't want to actually stop here, so I'm going to remove this stop and hopefully it doesn't freak you out. Cool, it's going to keep going forward. Beautiful area this is, one of the best lookouts in Toowoomba, and we've got quite a few. Car parked on the side here, navigates around that at a slow pace, which is fine. Couple $1 million, well, probably, yeah, in a couple $1 million houses out here. 2-3 million, I'm imagining, up on the hill. But it's doing 20, a little bit too slow for what I think a human driver would do, but again, it's an unmarked road and it's being quite cautious. Even on marked roads, the car is quite cautious, and I think, you know, with speed profiles and next updates, we'll see a little bit more haste to movements. At the moment, taking it quite slow. So, but as you can see on the map data, there's another really tight bend here, a couple of them, so it's making the right choices in regards to speed and things like that. Whilst yes, we could do it quicker, maybe our reaction times are a little bit better because we've driven these roads before and we have memory, but the car is working it out as it goes, and it's only got the information from map data to go off of, so not a lot of info there. Not as much as we humans would have. So, doing it quite well though. Quite well indeed. Another 40 sign here, so it's picked up to about 32, so that's pretty good considering. A couple k's under, but with the roads and a little bit of rain and all that sort of stuff, I'm happy with that. It's safe, and you know, that's the priority with self-driving, is it should be safe before anything, and then you know, pick up speed and worry about all the other stuff on top. Safety is the priority. So over the drive here, it's gotten a little bit gloomy. Heading around the corner as we're coming up to the exit out here. Not too much, it's speeding up a little bit more, so you can see a bit further ahead. So, and this is, you know, as drivers you're taught to look, you know, 6, 12, whatever seconds ahead, to make sure, you know, you're looking out for hazards and things like that, especially with motorbikes. That's what you're taught, 3, 6, 12. Perfect. So coming on to a little one-way merge here. There's nothing to the side of us, so it doesn't have to worry about that. It is slowing down though for some reason, not too sure why. That's alright, I'll let it do its thing. We've got the time. I'm going to go and remove the next stop out of here because we're getting close to that and we don't want the car to freak out. Okay, little too slow here. There's no reason to go this slow, so I'm going to put a little bit of power back into it. Almost hit that bird. These birds have got it out for us. That looked like a little duck bird. They're literally just flying everywhere. Right, gone a bit quicker now, so that's good. Had to give it a bit of a push on the accelerator. That's probably the biggest gripe with me at the moment, is how many times I actually have to press on the accelerator to get to a speed that personally I'm happy with. And this 40 end here is good. We've got quite a few bends and stuff, and we've also got a giveaway coming up, so that's fine. But just prior to, we're on a bit of a straight, no reason to go that slow. Kept left of that median strip, so that's good. Some are better than others. Nothing behind us, a little bit coming to the right, but we've got time, so we're going. Couple curves here with limited visibility, so it's taking it a little bit slower than, again, what someone with memory would do, because we know how the roads are. We know what to expect next. The car doesn't. You can see it on the map data, but there could be anything around the corner that could be a hazard, so the car takes a little lighter. Rain's picking up now as we're heading out to the left here. We do have a final stop coming up. This will be interesting. Skipped that left right lane there, so that was good because that was someone's driveway. I actually thought it might have went down there for a moment. Doing 45 in a 50, that's fine. Heading up a hill, perfect. It's all good. Now it's starting to slow down a little bit more than I'd like, but we are coming up to school zones, so again, it does take into account of the days, I believe, but that rain's getting a little bit heavier as well, so it's probably been a little bit more cautious here. Because of that, starting to get a bit heavier. Got a tight bend coming up here, it's almost a 90-degree turn. Slows down. Very, very good. Very, very good turning and speed on that. So that's perfect. There is a crossing here. There's no one waiting. So it does slow, but it doesn't come to a stop. So that's perfect. You want to be hesitant when you're coming up to a pedestrian crossing. Got a stop sign here. It's very, very good with stop signs. It stops for about 3 seconds before it goes. No one coming from the right. It's heading on to the left. And we're getting into some heavier rain again. So it'll be interesting to see if it kicks us out here along our drive. I'm going to make sure that my hands are ready just in case it does. I'm going to keep them in a ready position due to the weather. Got a left turn coming up here. It's quite blind and quite sharp to the left, so it's actually going to need to turn quite a bit. Does it perfectly, no issues with that. Couple cars on the left, it's giving room for those. It's definitely slowed up on the speed since this rain's coming down a fair bit heavier. Exactly what we would expect though, you know, braking times and slowing times are a lot slower when the road wet, when there is wet roads. Nothing coming from the left, it is a bit of a blind hill, but perfect there. It's going slow enough, happy with that. Just gonna keep continuing on. I've got someone behind me, so I'm gonna tap the accelerator just a little bit. Also like to push it to its limits, you know, to see if there's anything I can get it to do something it's not comfortable with and see how it reacts. I wouldn't call this rain very, very heavy, but it's steady enough to the point where the wipers are on probably about a speed of 3. Car's wanting to pull over, it's finished the drive, I'm taking over because there's a car behind us and it's confusing the person behind us. So, going to pull over up a little bit further where there's some car parks. Perfect. Well, overall, I think the car handled those situations quite well. We had one situation which was probably more my fault rather than the cars, and then also we just unfortunately had someone behind us. They didn't want to wait for us to turn or do what we needed to do, which is fine. They, you know, anyone would have done what they did, which was to sort of go to the left and go around us. And they went in front of us eventually, which was fine.